What's going on, Steeler Nation? Back with another video to report breaking news. The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed Jabrill Peppers, or yeah, Jabrill Peppers. My bad. Former starting safety uh, of the New England Patriots, or as we like to call them, the New England Flatriots. Um, is coming over from the or from free agency after just being released by the Patriots after doing their 53-man roster cut down. Um, Jabrill Peppers brings in a lot of veteran and experience at safety, and he's also another thing we like to do with this defense is play physical, and that's what he's going to bring you every time he comes out on the field. He's going to bring physicality. I think it's a good pickup. Um, This is coming after Deshaun Elliott's injury, his MCL sprain. He is expected to return versus the Vikings when we play them in Ireland. And if you're the Steelers, this is a great move, especially being thin at the safety position. This is something that I believe needed to happen, especially after this injury. Not a lot of guys on this team can play safety. So you go out, you get a guy who is experienced, but also a good player. And that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers did like 38 minutes ago or 30 some minutes ago. We signed him, and yeah, he's going to bring a lot of thumping to the safety position. And whether they release him after Deshaun Elliott comes back, I necessarily wouldn't release uh, Jabrill Peppers after Deshaun Elliott's back, because then you got another good safety in depth. And not only that, if I'm not mistaken, Peppers has good experience as a box safety as well. So you want to use him in that aspect. Again, he's going to be that depth piece that you need, and you can never have too much good depth at safety, especially when you're the Steelers. But yeah, this is a good pickup. It's not the splashiest, but again, nothing ever should be, honestly. And you don't pass up on Jabrill Peppers. You just don't on signing him. That is a great signing. A great signing, great depth. He'll be a great fill-in for Deshaun Elliott until he gets back. And then I'm going to possibly sit here and say that he'll be depth the whole entire season. At least I would hope so. And kind of rotate them in and out. Give them a little playing time once he gets back from his injury. I think that that's a great idea right there, and even in itself. And not only that, but you also got Thornhill on at free safety, which when he gets going, he'll be a pretty solid free safety, which he has been in his career with the Chiefs up until he went to the Browns. But yeah, if these thumpers can get going, if this defense can get going and play physical like they say they should, or that they will, in the terms of Mike Tomlin, or in the words of Mike Tomlin, he says, we're not going to play perfect, we're going to play physical. And that should be the story of this 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That should be their expectations. They want to win a Super Bowl? Okay, you got to play better. You got to do better. Same thing with offense. I don't trust, just going to say it, I don't trust Pat Meyer I wouldn't trust him to teach my own unborn child to learn how to block on the offensive line. He sucks. And I know a lot of people are shitting on uh Broderick Jones for doing bad. Yeah, he had a bad game. But that also stems from poor coaching development. And that's the biggest thing. We haven't had a good offensive line coach since Mike Munchak. Would I love to have had a Mike Munchak with this offense? Hell yeah. I know exactly what he would do with this team, do with this lineup. He's already proven it. He's already proved it. And I one day would love to see Mike Munchak be the O-line coach for Steelers again. Will that happen? Probably not. But again, I'd love to see it. Because I know he would have not had this offense looking like this. You can blame the player again all you want, but at the end of the day, if you have shitty ass development, you're not going to do anything right. And if, just to toss this out there, if you want to throw shit towards Broderick Jones, throw it towards Troy Fautanu too, especially on the pressure that he gave up. He gave up a sack, but nobody talks about that. And I know what the excuse will be for Troy Fautanu will be that he hasn't played a full year. I don't give a shit. Broderick hasn't played at left tackle for almost 3 years he's been in this league because of the Steelers' poor signings for depth pieces. But it's easy to throw shit on him because he's been with the team the longest. And Fautanu hasn't played at right tackle for a full season. Okay? Broderick hasn't had a full season at left tackle yet. And the Steelers have the cheapest coaching staff in the league. And you can expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to continue to play like this on the offensive line until we get a good O-line coach, until the Steelers decide you can't be cheap in a rich man's business. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Tell me I'm wrong. If you can prove that I'm wrong, I say go ahead and tell me. But I look at not just the players, but the coaching as well. Because coaching does matter. You can't be cheap in today's NFL and expect to win a Super Bowl. It just is not going to happen. Our defense played bad. Our secondary played bad. Oh, you want to know who's at the defensive coordinator position? Teryl Austin, the same guy who got fired by the Bengals, whose defensive secondary, when he was in charge, was horrendous and was ranked one of the worst. I'm just saying. If you had, for instance, when we had Brian Flores, we could have gotten rid of Teryl Austin and promoted Brian Flores, hired him as the defensive coordinator. You want proof of how good they are? Okay. Look at how bad Teryl Austin's defense is compared to Brian Flores' great defense. Is a mastermind, and I'm going to say the best defensive coordinator in the league right now. And the reason I say that is because of how good he schemes up his blitzes. He can blitz, and he can make sure that the corners are in their proper position. That is the definition of a good between a a below average defensive coordinator and a great defensive coordinator. That's Brian Flores. He's a great defensive coordinator. Terrell Austin, below average. And people can bring up the excuse that, well, you never played a game of football in your life. You're right, I haven't. And I have a reason for it. It's health wise. Not because I didn't want to get hurt, but because I'm a former seizure patient. And I got rid of my seizures. That's the reason I didn't play. I made that decision on my own. I had to make that decision. So, when it comes to football in general, oh yeah, I can talk football with people. 9 times out of 10, I'm a quiet person. I don't like to do all that stuff a lot of the times because I don't need to go back and forth with somebody on football just to prove my point. I can keep it short and sweet and point out the pros and cons. The cons, no pun intended, is Pat Meyer, the O-line coach. Receiving is good, but the O-line coach is dog shit. He sucks at his job, and I'm not going to lie about it. Not like a lot of other people who just want to throw Broderick under the bus and just pretend like stuff like that didn't happen. Pretend like the development doesn't have anything to do with it. And everybody's sitting there saying, he's dog shit. Broderick Jones is a bust. He is garbage. He's this and that. Y'all are the same ones that said, well, give them time, they're a young line. But the next thing you know, after the game, you're talking about how ass he is and he's a bust. I would bet money on it that if anybody from the McVay coaching staff to the Shanahan coaching staff had this, if we had those type of O-line coaches, I'm willing to bet everything on it that they would develop Broderick in this line. You want to know why? Because when you look at problems and you know how to fix the problems, for instance, who would you trust more, Pat Meyer or Mike Munchak? Who, keep in mind, is currently with the Los Angeles Rams as a consultant. And if you're not looking to improve your coaching staff and have great development, and you're just looking at mediocre development just because you want to be cheap and don't want to open up your wallet, it's not going to work. You know why we've had a great D-line in these past 2-3 years or even more longer? Because great O-line coach. That's just how it is. And that's a proven fact. The Steelers had one of the best D-line in the league last year. Wasn't number one. But when it comes to turnovers and shit, we were one of the best. And, yeah. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, was this game versus the Jets real shitty by the O-line? Yeah, because we couldn't stop the run. We didn't pressure Fields. And not taking anything away from Fields, he did great. And he could possibly be their franchise for the Jets. They could actually have a quarterback. Ain't it amazing what somebody can do when they have a good coach? Even if he's a first year head coach, it still makes a world of difference to see how Fields played under this system, the short amount of time he had, and then going to New York to play for the Jets and put up around 200 some yards, two touchdowns, or one passing touchdown and two rushing touchdowns, something like that. Um, but still, look at how his development went. Besides that one pass, which really wasn't his fault about what happened on that play, was um it was a pass to Garrett Wilson. He caught the ball, but Jalen Ramsey knocked it out. And yeah, by the way, Garrett Wilson. I mean, I thought he could back shit up, but I guess not when he goes up against one of the best shit talkers in football now, which is Jalen Ramsey, and Ramsey just knocked it out. Yeah, if you can't back up your shit, don't speak. But anyway, um, again, it wasn't just the offense that was bad in this game; it was defense as well. The secondary did not look good. Um, besides a few, like maybe that third and fourth down stop, I believe once or twice. I don't know. It was just such a up and down game with us. But Aaron Rodgers, pretty damn good. Four touchdowns, over two. I believe it was 249 yards passing. Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that Aaron Rodgers is looking like his old self. He looked like MVP Rodgers in that game. Now, am I saying this will continue? No, but if you give him just a little bit more time, he's going to make a defense pay. So yeah, again, that will be the end of this video. We got Jabrill Peppers, um, off of free agency, and yeah, he's going to come in and thump. You can expect a thump play from him. Don't really know what else. Maybe he'll do good in coverage. I don't know. Again, I hate the Patriots, so there's a reason why I don't watch him or watch them, because I do hate the Patriots with a passion. And yeah, and I will be live for that Patriots game. I won't be live for the Seahawks game, which sucks, but I don't have the Fox Sports app. And yeah, again, that'll be the end of this video. I babbled on long enough. Y'all got Yeah, y'all get my opinion. I'm always straightforward. I'm never going to be holding back. I'm going to give you my honest opinion and the honest truth about stuff, which I did. So, yeah. Again, take time with this O-line, man. Get them a O-line coach that gives a damn and actually knows what he's doing. Give them the proper development they need. And that goes for Broderick, Fatanu, McCormick. Give these guys time, because it's not fair to shit on them so many times like you do. I get why you did it, but understand that if you have poor coaching and a terrible O-line coach, and it can be said about a terrible wide receiver coach, you're not going to get the production that you did in this game without a good wide receiver coach. And you've also seen what a coordinator like Arthur Smith can do if he has the playbook all to himself. If he opens it up, which he did, which a lot of people didn't believe he would. They thought they would just get the tight ends more involved, is another thing that they did do with Pat Freiermuth. But yeah, time will tell, and I'm giving this O line until we get a new, giving this O line a chance until we get a good offensive line coach. That's just how it's going to be. That's just how it has to be. Because we can go through the draft, we can go through free agency, we can go through all that. It's not going to make a difference on how this O-line plays because the development will be the same. How they are developed is exactly how they're going to play. Again, coaching matters, people. You got to get that in your head. But maybe I'm the minority in this whole thing. Maybe I'm the only one here that believes that. And if I'm not, thumbs up to you because you're not jumping to conclusion and not blaming it all on the O-line for playing shitty when development plays a huge part. But we got the win thanks to Wizard of Boz getting a 60-yard field goal, which put us up. And I'm going to say this until the day I'm off this earth. Boswell is the best kicker in this league. 60 yards. That hasn't been done by a Steelers kicker. And guess what? If he has a chance to do it again, he'll do it again. Give him that proper hold by the placement kicker and watch him do his thing. Again, there was no doubt that Boswell could kick a 60-yard. He tried it last year, and it was botched by Corliss Wakeman. And who redeemed themselves in week 1 with that 60-yard kick? Corliss Wakeman. And if anybody sits there and says that Boswell is not the best kicker in the league, then you don't know football. There's not one kicker in this league. Maybe you can throw in Brandon Aubrey from Dallas. But again, I'm still putting Boz number 1 over Aubrey, at least for a little bit. I know Aubrey can kick like a 70-yarder, and that's good for him. Again, I'm not paying attention to that. Boswell is the best kicker. It is what it is. But yeah, this is the end of the video. Hope you all enjoy it. If you do, leave a like and comment. Tell me what you think. I gotta turn the fucking thing on for not for kids because YouTube doesn't allow the comment section to be open. So if I do lives, I'll have to fucking do that shit, which I hate. And again, I cuss a lot in here, but I'm not going to pretend like kids don't hear cussing words from their moms and dads. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Hope you all enjoy. See you in the next one. Peace.